bike covers. Two kinds of bike covers I want to talk about, and there are, let's kind of take a look at this. So if you can see how that has a texture to it, it's a soft material. These are expensive. This is that company, Oxgord, whatever. There's a bunch of different companies that make these. The inside has that same texture, and they are supposed to be water resistant, and they're supposed to breathe and keep your motorcycle nice and comfy and warm at night. No. Then there's this style. This is Nelson Riggs. Neither one of these are sponsored, by the way. This is just, I bought both these. And I want to demonstrate them both to you really quickly. So the Nelson Riggs, this is this material, which you can see it's more like a nylon material or something. On the inside, same material, of course. Just a kind of a slippery nylon material that is totally waterproof, windproof, and it's not breathable at all. It'd be like wearing a big plastic bag if you had to wear it completely around you. But let me just say which one's better. That one's better. Why is it better? Let me just show you on these two bikes. Here we go. We got the covers on. Now, this one is the expensive. It's got all these little nooks and crannies, and if we look at all those little nooks and crannies, that's where all the dirt gets in it. Okay. Now, it doesn't just get in on this side. And what I always thought is, okay, it gets on this side. I got to shake it out first before I put it away so it doesn't get on the inside. Make sure I don't fold it inside out so I don't get the dirt on underneath in here, so that this can stay nice and soft and clean. But the problem is, see that texture in there? And if you keep your motorcycle outside, and you know how like in the, we have the motorcycle outside and the wind's blowing, and if you have like a carport and all the dust blows into that carport because you've got this big overhang and all of that, it's gonna be the same thing with your motorcycle cover. The wind comes down, comes underneath the cover, and all the dust flies up inside the cover, and it gets absolutely filthy dirty in here. You get leaves in there, you get all sorts of stuff. Even if you take in with these little loopholes and tie it in on the bottom, which I do recommend doing that, by the way, because it keeps the cover on the motorcycle, you still get a lot of dirt. Now the dirt stays on this really well because all those little nooks and crannies, and now when you put it back on the motorcycle, you basically need to clean your motorcycle. Every time I take this off my bike, I feel like I need to clean my bike. Versus this bike, or even cheaper ones, by the way, are made of more of a nylon material. This one has two different types of material, so it's more of a heat resistant material on the bottom, and then a lighter weight material on the top. Totally waterproof, water just beads right off of it. And it's got some vents here. Some of them don't have the vents. You really don't need the vent. This helps not just really to keep your bike dry, but it also helps when the wind blows underneath it. It'll have somewhere to blow out. Not that big of a deal. They really don't contain that much moisture in them. Like this one says it's breathable, but if you look, the whole entire bottom of this thing is open. That's breathable. Same with this one. The whole entire bottom of this horse is open because it's the bottom of your bike. And they generally stay dry. This one stays drier than that one. This one stays cleaner because the dirt just falls right off of it. In fact, if I come out here and it's covered in dust, what I'll do is just sort of shake it out like that while it's on the bike, and all the dirt falls off of it. I can't really do that on this one because all the nooks and crannies. Now this one, and they have these with a higher, like depending on the make, this silver material will be heat resistant, so you can put it on a hot bike, which is kind of cool. Anyways, the cheaper motorcycle covers really end up being better. They don't have a soft liner, but they're not going to scratch your bike. That's not rough material. It's pretty soft. Putting the bike on, you'll see that they have ears. The ears go over your mirrors, and then they go to the back. Usually the front will have some kind of a logo on it, so you know. This one doesn't have any kind of logo, so it takes a little while to figure out which way is the front, which way is the back. You can look inside, and usually they have little things for your mirrors that kind of protects your mirrors. My point here, really, number one, is don't go with the real expensive one unless it's going to be inside and you want to spend a lot of money on it. That collects way too much dirt and your bike ends up being really dirty. These stay pretty clean. They're a lot less expensive. And if you have to replace it, it's easier to replace a cheaper cover. They just end up being a lot better on the motorcycle, in my opinion. Now, these also have a bunch of little loops, and you can use these to tie it to the motorcycle if you can be in a really windy area. You can see on this one, I just tied a little bit of twine to it and run it under the bike and then tie it on the other side. You can run your lock through it. They're big enough loops to run like a lock or something like that. That can hold it to the bike as well. And that is motorcycle covers. They make a ton of different kinds. I just say don't spend a whole heck of a lot of money on them. You know, buy a little bit nicer one maybe that is made of like a nylon material rather than the big cotton ones. They fold up a lot smaller. You could actually take it with you, whereas that's gonna take up entire luggage case, maybe more. That's it. We'll see you soon.